Hello, good morning to all. I am Dr. Manoranjan Sarkar, Associate Professor in the Department of Surgery, going to take tutorial class on the topic vermiform appendix. Today's topic is on the vermiform appendix regarding tutorial. Tutorial means here exam oriented discussion usually done in the tutorial class, and here two-way communication is necessary, but it is lacking here. Then I come to my topics, that vermiform appendix. It is a tubular structure and it is the part of large guard arising from the cecum, and this appendix, and regarding the diseases of the appendix, usually you face in the exam in the two category of exam. One in the Viva board and another in the OSPI station. Usually these two type of examination you have to face for the vermiform appendix, and as the time is limited for discussion on the topic, I shall try to discuss which is very important for Viva board, and I think already you found the sample questions for Viva board. I have one copy. It is, I think you also have or already have collected, and I want to discuss at first according to the question sample for your Viva board. Then if we found time, then further discussion regarding vermiform appendix I shall try. At first, vermiform appendix usually infection of the vermiform appendix, usually very most common diseases of the appendix, that is the appendicitis. It is the inflammation of appendix called appendicitis. Other disease, sometimes some tumors arise from the appendix, but infection of the appendix is very common. Every day we have to face several diseases, several cases in the world. Every day, about 3 to 4 or 5 cases of appendicitis we have to face. Well, what do we mean by appendicitis? It is the inflammation of vermiform appendix. It's called appendicitis. What are the types of diseases usually of this organ? In other classification, other diseases classification as like as maybe congenital, maybe acquired. Congenital disease is very rare in appendix. That is, it may be rudimentary, it may be absent, like this. And inflammatory condition, that is the appendicitis. And the tumor of the appendix, it may be benign, it may be malignant. The benign disease of the appendix is adenoma, polyp, and malignant disease, adenocarcinoma. It may be mucinous adenocarcinoma, it may be non-mucinous adenocarcinoma, or it may be adenocarcinoma with signet ring or signet ring cell carcinoma. Another tumor is the carcinoid tumor, which is also common among the tumors of the appendix. These are the common diseases, but you have to face frequently to the appendicitis. So, I want to discuss shortly according to the sample questions of your Viva board like this. Here, the sample questions of vermiform appendix, here only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 groups here found. Yes, 4 groups. First, they must know, then better to know, then nice to know. Here, what are the causative factors of acute appendicitis? Causative factors. Actually, there is no definite and single causative factors of appendicitis. Some factors may be responsible to this disease, such as some dietary factors are responsible. Those who are taking refined carbohydrate are very much prone to develop appendicitis, and those who are lacking to take or refuse to take vegetables or fiber containing diet, they are also prone to develop appendicitis. These are the dietary factors. Then the organism, yes, proliferation of bacteria, the organisms has the rule for acute appendicitis, but there is no specific and single organism to produce acute appendicitis. Usually mixed type of organism, that is the various type of organism are responsible for acute appendicitis. Usually gram anaerobic group, anaerobic bacteria, and also anaerobic bacteria. Here is the positive factors. Sometimes other situations that cause the obstructions of the lumen of the appendix is also responsible to develop acute appendicitis, such as insulated stool in the lumen of the appendix, that is also called fecalith, that cause obstruction of the lumen, then cause appendicitis. And sometimes pinworm accumulation producing the obstructions of the lumen of the appendix also responsible for appendicitis. And sometimes the diseases on the cecum that cause obstructions of the appendix, such as carcinoma cecum, and this carcinoma if developed very close to the or base of the appendix in the cecum, then it can occlude, it can obstruct the lumen of the appendix, and that cause the obstructive variety of appendicitis. These are the causative factors for acute appendicitis. When you face in Viva board, you have to answer like this. Then what are the typical clinical features of acute appendicitis? Is very important. Viva board as well as as clinician, and you have to know that this patient is suffering from acute appendicitis. In other diseases, the diagnostic protocol is the same. That is the history, clinical examination, and with the help of some laboratory investigations. Here is what are the typical clinical features of acute appendicitis. The typical clinical features, that is the symptom and sign. Here answer will be symptom and sign. What is the symptom? Usually patient suffer from periumbilical pain or periumbilical colicky pain, which usually after few hours shifted to the right iliac fossa or right lower abdomen. Anorexia, sometimes vomiting, and patients may complain the fever. Is the symptom, but sign is the pyrexia, that is the body temperature elevated. Here is the fever. Patients complain symptom fever, but you have to measure the body temperature, then it is regarded as the sign. The usually low grade pyrexia is usually. Then right lower abdominal muscle guard, rebound tenderness, and some other special signs, that is the Robson sign, Swas sign, obturator sign, like this. This clinical signs is also present. This is some symptoms and some clinical signs. Another is the pointing sign. Though it is the sign, but it is elicited by the patient. If the patients indicate the painful area by the index finger of the patient, that is the localized pain, is the pointing sign. This sign is not elicited by the clinician, it is elicited by the patient, but it is included in the sign, that is the pointing sign. It is also important. So here is the symptom and signs of the acute appendicitis. Another question, what are the positions of the appendix? Actually, it is the anatomical question. It is not clinical, but it is very important for the clinician, because according to the position, the symptom and sign may vary with the positions of the appendix. You know, usually already I think everybody you know the positions of the appendix, because you have already studied in the anatomy. Is the most common position of the appendix is the retrocecal. Retrocecal. Approximately 74% of the patient present with retrocecal, that is that 3/4. Then next common position is the pelvic position. then paracecal, postileal, preileal, and least common is the postileal, only 0.5%. These are the positions, that is the retrocecal, pelvic, paracecal, subcecal, and postileal and preileal. 6 positions, common position. What are the common differential diagnosis of acute appendicitis? Then the differential, it is the sample questions. Here is the all are in the sample questions of your differential diagnosis. When we answer this type of questions in a Viva board, please mind it, occasionally you start the answer frequently, just such and such, such and such. Not so, because according to age variation, according to our situation, if the diagnosis vary, differential diagnosis vary, then you should categorize it. Suppose the differential diagnosis of acute appendicitis, at least you categorize according to the age of the patient and according to the sex of the patient. That is, if the patient is children, that is the young age, then differential diagnosis may be gastroenteritis, mesenteric adenitis, Meckel's diverticulitis, intersusception. This type of disease is usually common in the children. These differential diagnosis should come in case of children group. If the patients in adult, then regional enteritis, ureteric colic, perforated peptic ulcer, torsion of the testis, pancreatitis, even rectus sheet hematoma, like this. In case of adult, this group is adult. If the adult is female patient, then another differential diagnosis are also keep in your mind, that is the Mettels-Mars. Mettels-Mars means that is the midovulary pain. Usually this type of pain is usually occurred at midway between the two menstrual cycle, that is the 13th, 14th day of the cycle period. It is the ovulation pain. And if you take the history, that this type of pain usually patients has felt previously, and if this occurred previously, usually this type of pain is usually one time in the left side and another month in the right side, and then another month in the left side, like this. The ovulation usually one side is occurred, and in which month the ovulation is occurred, in the respective side the patient feels pain. If ovulation is occurred in the right side of the ovary, then pain is occurred in the right lower abdomen, which mimics as the acute appendicitis. This is the Mettels-Mars. PID, that is the pelvic inflammatory disease, the adult female, ectopic pregnancy, torsion or rupture of the ovarian cyst, endometriosis, like this. This type of differential diagnosis usually adult female. If the patient is elderly group, aged patients, then other differential diagnosis also make it come to your mind, that is diverticulitis, intestinal obstruction, colonic carcinoma, usually in the cecum or right side of the colon, may mimic as the appendicitis. torsion appendix epiploidy, mesenteric infarction, like this. This type of differential diagnosis, when you tell in a Viva board, if you categorize, that is according to the age, the children, adult, in case of adult, adult male, adult female, and in case of old age, the elderly person, like this. And if you say only 2 differential diagnosis for this group, you gather better marks than if you tell the more and more differential diagnosis but without any grouping according to age or sex. Please keep in mind in a Viva board when you answer this. What are the common differential diagnosis? Differential diagnosis should be offered to your teacher according to age and sex. How can you differentiate acute appendicitis from right lower ureteric stone and rupture ectopic pregnancy? Again, how can you differentiate? When you differentiate, you have to differentiate on symptom, you have to differentiate it on clinical examination and as well as laboratory investigation. 3 steps should be tell in Viva board. In appendicitis and versus right lower ureteric stone. In appendicitis, usually periumbilical pain shifted to the right lower abdomen, and in case of ureteric stone, usually ureteric stone patient does not present with periumbilical pain. It is presented with the colicky pain from right lower abdomen, and it is usually start from the loin and goes through the loin to groin. But in case of acute appendicitis, it is shifting. It is shifting pain. It is previously occurred in the periumbilical, then it is shifted to the right lower abdomen. And when the acute appendicitis and pain is the right lower abdomen, it is not in colicky. It is usually fixed. But ureteric stone, it is usually colicky pain. And on clinical examination, in case of acute appendicitis, the muscle guard usually found in the right lower abdomen, and in case of ureteric colic or ureteric stone, usually muscle guarding not present because the ureter is the retroperitoneal structure. It can cause pain or tenderness on deep palpation, but muscle guard usually not present. In case of acute appendicitis, usually muscle guard or rigidity present, but in case of ureteric calculus, not present. Then investigation. On investigation, the acute appendicitis, the leukocytosis, neutrophilic leukocytosis, and ureteric stone usually does not found in the leukocytosis if that stone is not associated with the urinary tract infection. And on plain X-ray QB, there may be found a radiopaque shadow along the line of ureter on the right side. Is the symptom, then sign, and then investigation support. It's 3 steps by the following of these three steps, you can differentiate acute appendicitis from right lower ureteric stone. And again, the rupture ectopic pregnancy. How can you differentiate rupture ectopic pregnancy? Rupture ectopic pregnancy, the history usually presented, the previous history is the missed cycle. The missed cycle history থাকবে। Then ruptured ectopic pregnancy usually associated with hemorrhage. Usually associated with hemorrhage, and these hemorrhage in the pelvic cavity irritate peritoneum, and whole lower abdomen may be tender. On ultrasonography and on pregnancy test on urine may be positive. On ultrasonogram, the pelvic collection is there, and sometimes regarding the tube, some expert sonologist or may indicate the soft tissue mass may be found in the tube with irregular margin, may indicate, but sometimes it is very difficult to identify. Usually huge collection, and patients present you with anemia as well as hypovolemia. If there is the rupture ectopic pregnancy, that there is a history of missed period, there is a sudden onset of pain, and on examination the whole lower abdomen will be tender. Investigation, pregnancy test positive, ultrasonogram can gives the clue, the huge collection in the pelvic cavity, and in case of acute appendicitis only small amount of pericecal collection is there, but in case of ectopic pregnancy the huge collection may found in the pelvic cavity, and patient may present with you with the sign and symptoms of shock with anemia. Then what are the investigations you suggest for the diagnosis of acute appendicitis? Actually, there is no confirmatory diagnosis for the acute appendicitis, but the investigation we suggest only to support the diagnosis. Usually complete blood count, urine for routine and microscopic examinations, the plain X-ray KOB, and ultrasonogram of pelvic organ, usually in case of female patient. These 4 investigations can help you approximately 95% of the patients to diagnose acute appendicitis. Sometimes in case of male patient, some clinician also suggest the ultrasonogram. Here ultrasonogram can some clue for the diagnosis. Suppose if the appendix is very large, the diameter of the appendix may be given, and the pericecal collection, that indicates the indirect evidence of acute appendicitis. Usually this type of investigation is usually done. Then another question, what complications of acute appendicitis? Complications of appendicitis, it is if the proper treatment is not given to the patient, then the complications of appendicitis. The appendix may perforate. The collection present in the surrounding the cecum, that is the typhlitis, pericecal abscess, and this collection may go into the pelvic cavity and can cause the pelvic abscess. Then generalized peritonitis, then septicemia and onwards. This is the, if not treated. Sometimes after acute appendicitis, the appendix itself and terminal part of the ileum, cecum, which is covered by gutteromentum, and the infection is localized, it is called appendicular lump. Actually, appendicular lump is not a complication. It is the protective maneuver of our body to localize or to protect the appendicitis to become any complicated one. It is the protective phenomenon. For that reason, the appendicular lump is not regarded as a complication, but perforated appendix, pericecal abscess, pelvic abscess, and then generalized peritonitis, these are included in the complications of acute appendicitis. What is appendicular lump and appendicular abscess? Already said, the appendicular lump is a protective phenomenon. When the infection is localized in the appendix, then the gutteromentum comes here to localize or to prevent the disseminations of the appendix, infection of the appendix to the other parts of the body. As a result, the appendix itself, terminal part of the ileum, cecum, which is surrounded by the gutteromentum, produce a lump which is protective. If this lump is, after formation of this lump, if the infection unable to control or unable to conceal or unable to protect, then the pus is formed inside the appendicular mass. Then it is called appendicular abscess, which is covered by the omentum, but here is the collection of pus inside the appendicular mass. When pus is formed inside the appendicular mass, then it is called appendicular abscess, and when the pus is not formed, then it is called appendicular lump. The lump is protective, but appendicular abscess is not protective. It is the failed appendicular lump, that is the production of appendicitis by lump formation. What are the treatment options of appendicular lump? Treatment options of appendicular lump. Usually, appendicular lump treatment is the two option. One is the patient treated conservatively with nothing by mouth, broad spectrum antibiotic covering the aerobic and anaerobic organism as well as Pseudomonas, proper analgesia, then wait for and follow up the lump condition of the lump. This is called Oshner-Seren regime. Oshner-Seren regime. If this lump does not increase in size gradually, pain gradually decreases within few days, and ultimately the size of the appendicular lump started to decrease in size within few days, then patients allow orally. Then advise to the patient for interval appendicectomy, usually 6 to 8 weeks after the attack. This is one option. Another option is either it is appendicular lump, but some surgeon go through the operative treatment. It has two options. What are the treatment options for appendicular lump? The conservative, this is the Oshner-Seren regime. Another is the operation, that is the appendicectomy. But it is difficult to find out the appendix, and sometimes there is a chance to injury the cecum. For that reason, the appendicectomy usually not done in case of lump formation, but some surgeons choice appendicectomy even after formation of the lump. Thus, the first choice is the Oshner-Seren regime, and the second option is the appendicectomy. What are the types of appendicectomy? Types of appendicectomy. Appendicectomy is the treatment of appendicitis, and the two options usually for operative. One is the open and another is the laparoscopic. The laparoscopic appendicectomy and another is the open. Laparoscopic appendicectomy usually superior to the open appendicectomy, but in case of difficult situation, the open appendicectomy have to done. What are the complications of appendicectomy? In other operative procedures, the same type of usually occurred, but special type of complications in case of appendicectomy. Suppose if the ligature at the base of the appendix slips, there is the fecal peritonitis. If the perioperative injury to the cecum, then fecal fistula. If the ligature of the appendicular artery, then hemorrhage, and other complications as like that of other operations. Suppose wound infection may come on because the appendix is already infected. For that reason, wound infection maybe happen. Usually this type of complications usually occurred. How can you manage wound infection after appendectomy? Our time is already finished. Just in few words, after management of wound infection, how can you manage wound infection after appendectomy? It's like that of other wound infection, that is the removal of stitch and clear the collection inside the wound and regular dressing with proper antibiotic coverage, that is the collection should be sent for CS, and in antibiotic should be given according to the culture and sensitivity test, and after controlling of the infection, then skin again close later. That is the wound infection will be controlled. So the very short discussion, usually according to your sample question, I shall try as far as possible. Again, I request you, just go to your book, read again and again, and do well in Viva board and exam. Good luck for all. Thank you.